We made it.
We finally made it.
We made it through the off season. We made it through preseason.
We're heroes. We're American heroes. We're making it through the preseason. Let's be honest.
And here we are. Week 1 is here. First, the official NFL kickoff is Thursday night. Who plays Thursday night?
Chiefs and the Ravens.
Chiefs, Ravens. What a dynamite
Pretty
game
big
that
one.
is.
Yeah.
By the way, Valdez, what are you doing for that one? Is that just going to be by yourself?
Yeah, just watch it on the sofa.
Okay. Big plans, though, right? I mean,
Yeah, massive. Watch it on the sofa.
A lot of fist pumping.
no, but I mean, like, that's going to be one of those. I mean, because we complain about getting up. Valdez gets up like an hour earlier than
I know.
us.
Yeah, it's rough.
You know? So,
Well, at least it's a Thursday night.
I'm used to it. The Ravens have a lot of primetime games.
Ooh, I like that flex. I like that chest puffing.
by the way, are you feeling comfortable? I know this has hit the skins, but let's hit the Ravens for a second. Are you feeling comfortable?
It's there's 2 points to this game. Number one, the Ravens always seem to do well in primetime spots and kind of like big moments in the regular season, like going to San Francisco last year, hosting Dolphins.
That was a beat down.
Dolphins kind of revenge game. So they kind of always kind of show up in these spots. But for whatever reason, John likes to treat week 1, and they've gotten away with it because of who they played week 1. Last year it was the Texans and C.J. Stroud's first game. But they kind of sleepwalk through week 1. It's almost like their dress rehearsal because they literally don't play anyone in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So there's kind of like this early rust factor to them on week 1 games. So I think it's a loss at Arrowhead for the.
So you're predicting a loss. Okay, that's good.
Let's see.
That's good. I like it.
What's
you can
Kansas
only
City
be
laying
happy
a field goal or so?
Yeah, around there, maybe a little less.
Casey's laying a field goal. Yep. Total's 46.5 in that one.
Now, Drabby, I saw this over the weekend that it was rumored. I think it actually did happen. They signed a former Seahawk, right? Special teamer.
What happened?
Can you tell us more about Nick Bellore, former Seahawks linebacker Nick Bellore, who I believe made a Pro Bowl? Did he make a Pro Bowl as a special teamer? Give us a scoop on him.
Yeah, he's a great special teamer. Played fullback for them. I think they even put him at linebacker a few times.
Yeah, they list him as a linebacker here.
2 Pro Bowls on special teams.
Yeah, you know.
Very nice.
What did they do? They
a
just
minor
cut him?
cog. Yeah, I just don't think they had room for him. Different system, so they're probably not going to use him as much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, good number 53 on the team.
He's kind of old. He's 35.
Yeah, he's been around for a long
Been around a
time.
long
Yeah.
time. So they signed him to the practice squad also.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not like he's on the active roster. But just, you know what? For people that haven't been paying attention, I mean, I know we did this kind of like a week ago. Should I update people? Just a quick reminder, who's on the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this is, I believe, it starts in alphabetical order, but then it changes as they added a few. So Kaz Allen, the running back / receiver, the corner, Chigozie Anusium, guard Julian Good Jones, quarterback Sam Hartman, defensive end Andre Jones Jr., holdover, right, from the Rivera regime.
7th rounder, I believe.
Defensive tackle Hagai Debuzi, international player. I think every team gets one free international player sort of on their practice squad. Running back Chris Rodriguez, Mitchell Tinsley, receiver Bryson Tremaine, Cole Turner, defensive end Carlos Watkins, Michael Wiley, the running back, linebacker Jalen Graham, cornerback Bobby Price, defensive tackle Sheldon Day, and I believe that's all you can have 16, right? The last person added to their practice squad, Nick Bellore, the special teams guy, 2-time Pro Bowler from Seattle. So I don't know what their plans are for him, but obviously that's good insurance if anybody goes down for injury, poor performance, whatever. These rosters, they do fluctuate week to week on the bottom end of it. There's no doubt about
Such
it.
a huge practice squad nowadays. You know what I'm most intrigued by in week 1? I want to see, because Cakes and I have the bet, the Brian Robinson, Austin Ekeler breakdown of
the
carries.
combo. Yep.
What's
I'm
funny
But
is
intrigued
that's
a lot
the
of people are
second
talking about
side
it.
issue. The number one, I want to see how many carries Jaden Daniels has.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if I set the number at 8.5, would you go over or under?
I'd probably go
It's a
under.
good number. I could see 6 to 8. 8. If you're over 8.5, that seems like a lot.
I could see
Yeah.
them unveiling them for 10.
Well, we'll find out. I
Here you
think
go.
they're going to use Ekeler a lot.
I think he's been their little secret. their secret weapon that they've been kind of hiding. As JP mentioned last week, he hasn't played in a preseason game in 4 years. I'm just kind of I'm hanging on Cliff Kingsbury's word that if people say he's lost a step, he hadn't
They're
seen
wrong.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
There was one guy who tweeted us last week who was a Chargers fan who says it's not just injuries last year. He's washed. That would suck.
A Chargers fan said that?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll see. I mean, it's hard to – I mean, I guess it could happen, but for it to happen, like, just immediately
It just
like
happened
that,
in a year, and he did have that ankle injury yesterday.
yeah, I mean, I had a high
I don't
ankle
know how
sprain.
you say he was washed because 2 years ago he had a great year.
Yeah. And who are you saying
Don't
that?
kill
Just
the
a fan?
messengers. Somebody who tweeted us who said they were a Chargers fan,
Right.
and they said there's more to this Ekeler thing. It's not just an injury.
Did he
washed.
give
What-
more to, like, what is
Not
his-
really. Just say slow down.
Here's what you're hoping. This is the Ekeler you want. The one from 2023 who had 10.2 yards after the catch
Yeah.
Right.
per reception in 2023.
And
That's
how-
a remarkable
How
number.
old is Ekeler right now?
29, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe at 28 he's washed. You know, like last year at 28. I find that hard to believe. But we'll see. I do have JP mentions the running
How old
backs.
was Sean Alexander when he joined the Commanders / Redskins?
He was pretty long in the tooth, I think.
Yeah.
Probably late 20s, early 30s. You can go back and do that math.
Didn't he have a bunch of touchdowns for us? Not a lot of yards. I could be
I
wrong.
think so.
Look
I
up his
could be wrong.
stats.
I remember Gerald Riggs did that. Now I'm really dating myself. So Brian Robinson's fantasy outlook and projections, Cakes. This
Yep.
is from Pro Football Network.
Mm-hmm.
Would you go over under 1,002 rushing yards?
1,002
probably go
rushing
under.
yards.
You go under.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I think I would go over. We're
You're
different
you're
here.
an over guy.
But
By the
not
way-
by a lot, but I
Yeah.
would go over that
Just to
number.
go back,
Yeah.
Sean Alexander had a season where he ran for 1,880 yards
Yes.
Yeah.
and 27 touchdowns.
Crazy.
Okay.
All right. He was 28 years old.
Yeah.
He joined Washington when he was 31. Just
Yeah.
3 seasons later,
Mhm.
he played in 4 games and totaled 24 yards.
That's
Well, it
all
was
he
the
did.
end.
Three
He
seasons
only
a
played-
lot.
He only played in 4 games
Yeah.
for us? That's
Yeah.
wild.
Didn't start
Well,
any, appeared in
And I
four.
think he settled here because I bumped into him.
And he didn't have a bunch of touchdowns, EB. He had 0.
Oh,
Well, I just must be
I would
remembered
be
at 27.
legitimately starstruck if I was at like the Harris Teeter and I ran into Sean Alexander. Like if
Well,
he's shopping for green peppers in the produce aisle and I saw Sean Alexander, I would do a
used-
double take.
My daughter was doing volleyball training a couple of years ago. I used to see him every week,
Really?
and he just looks like a regular guy.
Sure.
Like you wouldn't think.
It's a little different because the Seahawks cut Sean Alexander. Like he was
Right.
completely washed.
Yeah, and
It
that was
wasn't
also
Ekeler.
3 years later.
Yeah.
So that's different. I just think it's different.
I mean, 3 years is a long time.
3
3
years
years
is different
off
than
his-
1
3
year.
seasons is
Off
a
his
long
best
time.
season, sure.
Yeah. I just
I'm betting on Ekeler to have more
yeah.
yards than Robinson. I'm just
Here's why it may be
saying
a bad bet. Not even with him
it's
being,
happened before
not
where
even
they've
him-
picked up a guy who's past his prime.
but not even him being potentially washed is a lot of times, and this is not with every quarterback, but with mobile quarterbacks, a lot of times, instead of them dumping it off to the Ekeler or the third down back, it's a tuck and run. Now, I'm sure Cliff Kingsbury wants to get the ball in Eckler's hands as much as he can, especially if he's still effective. But sometimes the mobile quarterbacks, the Anthony Richardsons, the Lamars, they don't tend to dump the ball off to their RBs a lot. That might be a slight warning sign.
All right, so here you go then. This is Pro Football Network's Austin Eckler's fantasy projections. Would you
Okay.
go over under?
All right.
Okay. Rushing yards,
Ooh, 300. Let me guess, 312.
440.
All right.
I'm going to go over.
You're actually going over after you're
For-
just pooping on
for the
it.
sake
All
of-
I
right.
wasn't
know. I just
pooping
don't
on him.
think-
I'm just saying.
I don't think they're going to give him the ball a lot in the running game.
All right, so you're going to go under.
For the sake of my bet, I have to pull for the under
All right.
because I'm
They
a
say-
B-Rob guy.
Now, they say 5 rushing touchdowns, but 440 rushing yards.
I might take the over on the touchdowns because he's so good in the red zone and has been in his past.
All right. Receptions, over or under for Eckler, 40.6.
40.6.
Now,
go
I mean,
over.
if he
I would-
plays in 15 or more games, he should smash that number.
3 catches a game, he goes way over.
I mean, he had 51
Remember,
last
he's
year.
sharing time.
Yeah.
And now I don't know how Cliff coaches, but I'm assuming whoever's got the hot hand's going to get the ball more.
If they go up tempo, which they did a lot in the preseason, more snaps.
See, the thing that
Yeah.
here's where it hooks Eckler potentially is if they're trailing in games. If they're trailing in games, Ekeler should shift.
They're going to be
to a
trailing
bigger-
in games.
He should shift to a bigger role because if
Yeah.
you're doing 2-minute hurry up, throwing the ball more, he's more.
If he
of that
stays,
ilk.
if he plays 14, 15, 16 games, he's going to go way over 40. What'd you say, 40 and a half?
40.6, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to go over that.
All right.
What about receiving touchdowns? Let me guess. 3.5.
I
It
think
sounds
it was
like a good number.
2.5.
Oh,
I would go over that
You
too.
got to go over
I
that.
would take all of Drab's money and bet that.
Yeah, you
I would
got to
just-
go
I would
over
just
that.
Bet it hard.
All right, so we touched on it a little bit before. Obviously, it's all about Tampa. It's all about Todd Bowles. Sunday, September 8th. Remember, it's a 4:25 start,
Oh, I know when it starts.
which hooks your boy because
I
my
love it.
daughter plays at noon. That's great. Love it. We talked about it. FanDuel, I believe we 3.5-point dogs or 2.5.
I think
3.5.
Just had it in front of me. Now I
3.5.
can't find it. The total is 43. Do you like my analysis? I like this as an over. I like
yeah,
this
I think
as
I
an
can see
over.
that.
Do you want to give your boys 9.5 and bump the total down and go over? Kind of like it.
I really like
I'll
that.
book, I'll book it.
Who doesn't like it? Who doesn't
You
like
just like
that?
it just because it's hard to hit two bets.
I'll
but
book
I
it.
like it.
You want to put?
No, I got FanDuel. I got a FanDuel account. What would I do with you?
just for the show.
I'll,
Book it.
I'll take it.
$10.
$5.
All right, hold on.
Put it in the book.
So you're catching 9.5 and going over. What'd you say?
Over
37.
I dump it down and then I go over.
37 and a half.
Yeah.
All right, put it in there.
Love that bet.
All right,
I would make out with that bet.
Washington plus 9.5.
Because listen, I think
Over
we are
37
going to
and a
be aggressive on defense, and I think we'll get burned a few times by it, no doubt. But I also
that in the
think
book.
that we'll be aggressive on offense, and I think that we're going to score some touchdowns.
Oh, I'm bitter. I see Ayuk to Commanders by week 1. I'm getting 5-1. The EB no. I'm yes. I'm going to ship you $5 to your Venmo soon.
Hold on, what did we bet? We bet $5 on that.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I like
He's-
the action.
Love that. Thank you.
That gets me distraught.
Love that, Cakes.
I know you do.
So
I just think that the I'll call them Skins. I don't care. The Redskins defense is going to be shaky.
I do,
especially against the pass.
right. So I think they're going to give up some touchdowns, but I do think they are going to make some plays.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think Baker Mayfield is some god.
He's not.
He's not. He'll throw it to us once or twice, maybe, but he'll also make some plays. I'm not saying he's going to have a terrible game. So I think that there'll be opportunities for us, but I also think that we'll give up some big plays. And I totally can't wait to. I literally. I mean, I guess I was excited to see Bieniemy's offense for about a quarter, and then I
Right
realized
now you
he
want to
didn't
see
know what he's doing.
Kingsbury's.
I can't wait to see this offense,
Yeah. Well, I hope it's better.
especially with Ekeler. If he's 3/4 of what I think he is,
You know
or
whose
80
offense looked garbage over the weekend?
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy's.
I know,
Yeah.
certainly for the first half. Played a little better in the second half, but
Baker had a good season last year.
he's solid.
28 touchdowns with only 10 interceptions.
I know, but
That's a little beyond solid.
He's in a
Probably his
groove,
best
though.
year.
probably yeah. But
Probably his
you know
best
what?
year.
Based on his history, he's probably going to go.
He's
revert back
yo-yoed.
to- He's probably going to revert back to.
He might, but I don't know if it's going to happen in week 1 against this
Listen,
leaky secondary.
I'm acknowledging he's going to hit Mike Evans for one for 1 or 2 big play touchdowns, no doubt.
Oh, all right.
But we're going to score some points too, fellers.
All right.
I would
I'm
imagine,
setting,
yes.
I'm setting the Mike Evans catch total at 8.5. Anybody going over?
That's a
Ooh.
lot.
I'm not going over.
But
I would go
Mike,
under.
Mike
If anything,
Evans
I would
is
go
he's
under.
prolific. See, now this is
Anybody?
not fair. You're hitting me on my kryptonite. Wide receiver overs. You know I can't help myself. I probably will bet the over on that. I'll consider it.
Need 9 catches.
That's a
That's a
lot.
lot.
Did
I
Mike
would
Ev-
always
I
take
can
the
see
under on
Mike
that
Evans going
regardless.
for like 7 catches, $125,
You can't see him
and 2
abusing
touchdowns.
Benjamin St. Juice
He
or whoever
could.
else is on that assignment. I mean, it's
He will get
possible.
his. I just don't know if he's going
Now
to get
he's
9
also a guy who can
catches.
limp to the side with a hamstring injury.
That's true.
Like first quarter in. Guy's got a lot of soft tissue issues over the years.
I mean,
That number's too high for somebody not as brittle as Mike Evans. I would
Listen,
take
all
it.
right,
I
at
don't
a
care
little
who
bit.
it is.
all right, if I said it at 7.5.
I wanted you to say 6.5 so bad.
Yeah,
Why don't you
6.5 is
just
too
bet
easy.
the under? He was going to do 8.5. Why don't you just bet the under?
I probably should have.
No,
he
I
doesn't like it.
No, I didn't offer it up. I just said
And I
8.5.
don't like. I generally don't like unders. I'm
I
the
know you don't like unders, but when
anti-Valdez.
somebody sets an absurd total, just jump on it.
Yeah, but Mike Evans could have 10 catches for
He
like
could.
150 and 2
He
touchdowns.
could, but he
It's
could have
against Cakes' brand. He bets
this is my-
overs.
TB, I have principles. I have standards.
All right.
Okay?
Just seems silly. I know.
I have guidelines that I live my life by. I bet
Yeah.
overs, not unders.
Yeah, 8.5's too many, just based on last year. 6.5's probably the number to set.
Yeah, then I'm going to stay away. I think 6.5 is reasonable, and I do think he'll have some big plays, and I think they're going to score some touchdowns.
But I could see him having like 4 catches on the first drive.
Mhm.
Now I don't know what to make of it, but one little side note is, I think it's DQ who did say, or is either Peters or Dan, that Forbes improved a lot
Right.
as training camp and everything. You know,
Good. I hope
leading
that's
up
the
to
case. I mean, he's a
week
first-round pick. You're relying on that guy.
We
Now,
are.
he's a Ron first-round pick, so you raise your
By
eyebrow.
the way, speaking of Ron, somebody made a YouTube video about 7 months ago of his greatest moments here in
Okay.
DC, which is
Was it 5 seconds long?
No, which is basically him humiliating himself, and it leads off with a clip where Grant asks him about if the Packers win today and you'll be eliminated. And
Right.
he pauses and he goes,
What? He goes, what?
"We can be eliminated today." I almost pooped myself watching it. It's 7 minutes of Ron just being an idiot.
Of Ron buffoonery.
You know what? I'm gonna retweet it.
Okay, good.
Follow me, EB Junkies on Twitter.